What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Football Chatbox. My name is Ryan, and welcome to the Game Week 8. It's not even a team selection video, it's more of a recap of basically how the season has gone and how we can look to climb rank. Or personally, I'm going to look at my squad as well, and we'll have a look at your squads as well, and try and see what we can do to try and improve our ranks. Obviously, for me personally, it's been a very bad start to the season, and we're going to have a look and see what went wrong and what we can do to try and improve. I've got season ticker for you guys, couple stats we're going to have a look at as well, see what we've learned so far from some of the teams in terms of attack, defense, attacking defenders, midfielders, and forwards. And also I've got my planner up to kind of show you what we're thinking of in terms of players to get. And we'll have a look at your teams as well. So shout out to everyone in the chat. Shiraz, 513, Freddy, Abich, Hillbilly. How are you all doing? Alright, so let's start. Game week 7. I didn't get a chance to review everything with you guys, but game week 7, it was I would say it was a May arrow week, basically. Like, there wasn't much of a gain. It was a green arrow, which is nice. Always a green arrow on an international break is nice, but it wasn't big. Captaincy did blank again. Even though captaincy blanked again, I'm still going to go and captain Haaland against Wolves, because I think Haaland against Wolves is still a pretty good fixture, probably the best captaincy fixture out of the lot as well, I still believe, because you have to think about it. Wolves did concede a lot against Brentford, and even before that they did concede quite a lot against Chelsea as well, if I'm not mistaken. So there is opportunity for Haaland captaincy, which is why I'm going to, even though it's blanked twice in a row now, I'm willing to take the captaincy. So I'm willing to put it again on Haaland, because I think this week, now looking at it from hindsight, maybe Saka also had a really good opportunity against Southampton, and that was a good opportunity. But next week, I don't know. Next week, do you guys see any other good captaincy options that you might think and go, okay, this is a really good week to go against Haaland? But yeah, overall, we need to try and look in terms of how we can improve as well. Combe, welcome. How are you doing? Joseph, welcome as well. Watching you from Lebanon. Ooh, very interesting. I don't know if I have any. Are you on vacation or? As long as you're safe as well, Shiraz, be careful. And then Joseph says, got to go food shopping in 10 minutes, but popped into chat to say hello. We'll catch up with pod stream later. 270k overall. Happy-ish. Well done, Joseph. Well done. The next 2 weeks, Haaland is playing the 2 worst defenses. Yes, that's probably why I will stick it on Haaland. So I need to try and find a way to gain rank elsewhere from other players, basically trying to deliver. Now, a few things to kind of look at in terms of how the season went so far. No, I am Lebanese. Okay, that makes so much more sense. A few things to know how the season went. Now, season started off pretty May. First international break was after game week 3. After game week 3, I was at 1.2 million, which I would have said would have been a decent start after game week 3. Next international break, which was the game week 4 to 7, it was a kind of a disaster. Basically, and after the wildcard as well, wildcard just like made it even worse effectively. And as you can see, I haven't even been able to hit 2 green arrows in a row. I've just been a yo-yo form right now, red green, red green, red green. So it's not looking great. So we'll try and see whether we can kind of improve this and hopefully get a green arrow in next week, that eventually I maybe get 2 successive greens. Based on the trend, next week might be a red, but we'll see. Hillbilly says, where the 52 was only a small green, I got 61 and got a 50% green up to 450k. Ooh, that's huge. I don't know. I think mine was like a 22% something. 25% green, which is still pretty small, I would say. Like, it went from 3.59 to 3.1. That's pretty small, I would say. Haaland captain for me this week, says Shiraz. Yep, fair enough. Plowboy, welcome. How are you doing? Happy-ish? I'll be ecstatic. Currently 4.44 million. Well, Com, you and I both are looking to try and climb ranks then. Ryan, with this one, you'll get a red arrow this week. See, this is what I need to avoid this week. So we need to try and find a way to get a green arrow this week. But looking at the fixtures this week, it is not looking great because I have quite a bit of quite a bit of Liverpool playing Chelsea this week, which is not looking great. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. But my plan for this week, or at least for game week 8, is I have Jackson. Jackson, I'm gonna sell, and I'm gonna look to bring Solanke in from Spurs. Now, from Spurs' point of view, I don't think Solanke has been that great in terms of. I feel like he's doing decently, but he's not been fed the ball enough. Is what I'm kind of worried about. But the fixtures are there for Spurs, and they will score goals. So I'm hoping he kind of improves. My main aim with this team is I want to try and get Palmer in to this team. And one of the ways I can try and get Palmer in is probably in game week 9. What I'm looking to do is I would sell Luis Diaz to Palmer. I'll have 3 free transfers in game week 9. I will have to sell Trent. And I probably will have to sell Rea as well. And Rea could go to Pickford. And that Trent replacement, I at this moment don't know exactly who I want. I do have a couple names in mind, and we'll discuss those names as well, because I'm sure others might also be looking for Palmer. But I have a couple names in mind, so we'll have to discuss all of that as well. But yeah, that is kind of what I'm thinking, because I'm looking at Liverpool's fixtures over the next couple weeks. And like, even if I was to show you guys the season ticker, right? Let's look at the season ticker till next 6 game weeks. If I sort this by difficulty, Liverpool do fall below. And if I increase this a bit more, let's say I was going to make the transfers for Liverpool in game week 9, right? I move this to game week 9. This is on Fantasy Football Scout. We're going to be using this a lot for this episode. And sort by difficulty again. Liverpool go to the bottom of the season ticker. So I kind of need to like go from game week 9 to like say game week 14, which is when Liverpool's toughest run of fixtures. And this is just Premier League. If you were to look at Liverpool with the Champions League games included as well, I think they have a couple tough games of Champions League football as well, which could mean potentially rotation. And we've seen Arne Slot is not afraid of rotation. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is the moment I take to try and get rid of my Liverpool assets and try and find a way to bring Palmer in. Let me know what you guys think about all of that. But that is kind of what I'm thinking in terms of like next couple of moves for me personally. Com, you made me laugh. Got my eyes on your Jimenez with your run of fixtures coming. Jimenez, yes, I thought about Jimenez as well. I could go Jimenez instead of Solanke. I haven't really thought. If I go Jimenez instead of Solanke, I think that allows me to keep Trent. So this all depends on whether I want to keep Trent or not. That's the next question. Because if I want to keep Trent, was it Jimenez? No, I wasn't looking at Jimenez. I was looking at Matheus Cunha. That was who I was looking at. Now I can keep Trent and get Jimenez or even Cunha, I think. Because Wolves' fiction. No, I can't get Cunha. Okay, not possible. So yeah, Jimenez maybe. But I don't want to go with 2 cheap strikers. So I think Solanke might be a better option for me. I'm back up again, 18k overall. Saka the savior. Nice, well done. And me, I have to climb too. Yes, looks like a lot of people need to like climb up ranks. 78 points, 3.8 million to 1.5 million for Freddy. Insane green arrow. That's a Saka captaincy haul as well because of that. Jimenez does look good currently. I nearly swapped Muniz out for him a few game weeks back, but thought it was too much of a sideways move. Oh well, hello. Is KDB injured? Yeah, I think he's out for the moment as well. KDB still probably out for the moment. Still no Haaland, no Salah all season. James Justin already in, and Strand Larsen there. Now that's another player that you could probably have a look at as well. again, the thing is, I don't want to end up with two forwards for me personally, where Strand Larsen is not a bad option. Like, if I didn't have Calvert Lewin, I would have definitely been interested with this guy, potentially. That's another option to keep an eye out for. Diaz to Palmer and Trent to Ain't Nuri would be better than selling Rhea and making 3 transfers. That is also true. Can I do that? Yes, I can. So I don't even have to sell Rhea, to be honest. I can just do Diaz to Palmer and Trent to Ain't Nuri, like Shiraz mentioned. Ain't Nuri is one defender that I've looked at. There are few other. Now, Ain't Nuri could also rotate with Mikalenko. Mikalenko will be back this week, most likely. So I don't have to sorry, next week. So I don't have to worry about Mikalenko as well. I can rotate Ain't Nuri with Mikalenko. There are a few other defenders that I wanted to look at as well, and we'll talk about that. Holding off on Palmer until game week 12. I don't mind that as well. The only reason I'm thinking game week 9 is I'm worried that by the time I get to game week 12, I might not have the money to try and get him in. And add to that, when you look at Chelsea's fixtures, I've just gone, okay, Liverpool is a hard fixture for Chelsea, especially now that they've lost 2 defenders, 1 suspended as well. So they're missing a couple defensive options. But after that, Newcastle and Manchester United both are really good for Palmer to like back, to be honest. It's just the Arsenal game that is hard, but Newcastle and Manchester United both are there for the taking for a Palmer type player to try and get in. So that is what I was thinking. Maybe you get rid of Palmer, the Diaz to Palmer. Trent will have to go to try and fit Palmer in, and I don't mind doing it given the tough fixtures that Liverpool are about to hit. To be honest, Mez, welcome. Mira, how are you doing? Welcome. For game week 10 to 13, 3 out of 4 at home. The only away game is Southampton. For Liverpool, yes, that's true. The only problem I'm worried with Liverpool is the fixtures around their Premier League games as well. And let me bring this one so that it kind of gives you the idea. I'm not worried about like them being a good team. I'm worried about rotation. No, not Trent. I know I don't want to really get Trent, but the only way to get Palmer in for me is to sacrifice Trent. That is the one thing. That's the only way I can try and get Palmer in, is what I'm thinking. Wait, I'm trying to find this Lego Mane hop on, hop off with the European fixtures. Where can I find it? Here we go. This is what I wanted. Game week 5 to 14. I think this is the one. So if you guys look at this, the fixtures are tough, but not that tough. No, fixtures aren't that tough. So, okay, let's look at game week 6. Sorry, game week 8, right? For Liverpool against Chelsea. I would say a pretty good fixture for Liverpool. Arsenal, tough. In between Chelsea and Arsenal, they've got, is that Leicester? In the cup. I need to bring Liverpool fixtures. This is how I look at fixtures. So they got RB Leipzig. So they got RB Leipzig between Chelsea and Arsenal, which you are probably expecting some rotation somewhere for some of the players. Then they've got Brighton back to back, which is not too bad. But then they've got Leverkusen, Villa, Southampton, which is not too bad. But you want to target Liverpool players here. But you're most likely going to be seeing rotation in the Southampton game, is what I'm thinking. Because Aston Villa, Leverkusen, and Real Madrid. Not an easy run. That is slightly a problem. Leverkusen, Aston Villa, and Madrid, which is a bit of a pain, is what I'm thinking. Jimenez and Cunha to go with the big man. Excellent run of fixtures soon for Wolves and Fulham. Yeah, Cunha is not a bad option. Leaves lots of dough for midfield and defense. What about Cunha from Wolves? Cunha is also pretty good. I like it. I reckon there's a lot of dead teams with Palmer, Haaland, Perma Cap, and Triple Cap used that are highly ranked at the moment. Maybe. Off now, catch you later. Alright, enjoy the shopping, Joseph. See you soon. Ain't Nuri punished me last season, so many yellow and red cards, huge downside. That's the one problem with Ain't Nuri. That's why I don't really want to go for Ain't Nuri, and that's why I'll suggest a few other defenders we'll talk about. Ratnesh, welcome. I'm wildcarding this week. Need an option. Already have Saka, Palmer, Boomer, Rogers with Haaland, Raul, and Cunha with 7.5 million in the bank. Who should I go for? Options are Madison, Brennan Johnson, McNeil, Eze, and Rashford. At this moment, it's between Madison and Brennan Johnson. Probably Brennan Johnson because of the form he's on. Tian, FPL Planner, welcome. FPL Planner, welcome. How are you doing? I'm looking at Watkins, Trent, and ESR, Cunha, Ain't Nuri, Palmer, but have exact money, so likely I get priced out. Yeah, that could also potentially happen. Couldn't you sell Saka and get Palmer? I could. But I feel like Saka will still continue to do well. Saka will continue to do well. Is why I'm thinking that I'd rather keep Saka. So I'm basically going with one very expensive premium and two somewhat mid premiums, I would say. So you have the expensive premium in Haaland and then the two mid premiums to back it up. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, please do like and subscribe. We are 902 subscribers, which is basically another 98 subscribers to go before we hit 1K. I'm going to hold off Palmer. That's also not a bad option. Saka has very little goal threat compared to Palmer. Saka does, well, yes, I probably would agree with that. He has, like, in terms of explosiveness, Palmer's explosiveness is like there's quite a bit of difference between Palmer's explosiveness and Saka's. Yes, that's true. But at the same time, Saka plays for a better team. Pick the best one for 3 weeks, then switch to Semenyo for his run. Do we think Palmer is fixture proof? I mean, he was the top point scorer last season, wasn't he? And again, this season, he's already the top midfield scorer. He's on 67 points. He's matched Haaland for the top points. He's basically the equal top point scorer at the moment, Palmer. And this is after having played City. I would say Forest at this point. I get into a harder team, but like he's played City, which is not the best, and they didn't start off well. But like, I mean, against the weaker teams, he will deliver, right, Palmer? Brighton, he's exploited. Wolves, against teams with bad defenses, he'll definitely benefit. And talking about teams with bad defenses, got Newcastle and Manchester United next. After that, he has Leicester as well, Aston Villa, Southampton. But then I think Mira by then is probably looking to get Palmer for game week 12. It's only the Arsenal fixture that's like Liverpool next, which I'm also not looking to get. It's just after game week 8, it's only Arsenal that is the hard fixture for Palmer. And he doesn't play in Europe as well for Chelsea. So basically, he's just playing Premier League at this point, and maybe cup fixtures in the Carabao Cup. But after, are Chelsea still in the Carabao Cup? I think they are, right? Yes, and that's against Newcastle as well. So they're playing Newcastle back to back. Added to this as well. He's not in the Europa Conference League squad at all as well. So I think Palmer in general, really good option. Strand Larsen is on my radar. Fair enough. Strand Larsen on my radar too, to bank some money. But Cunha is the player that I wanted to go for. I'm a bit worried that if I was to go for Cunha instead of a Solanke, I might have two strikers that I might end up in like a situation where I don't really enjoy it, like Cunha and Calvert-Lewin. Don't really want to end up with both as like that kind of situation. So I'm thinking just like, just remove Jackson, go and get Solanke to try and get some Spurs attack because Spurs are doing well. Solanke, I mean, Brennan Johnson is the better option right now, but I want to use that midfield spot for Palmer instead, that transfer there. Right, I send you Liverpool next year fixtures, and then they face Newcastle and Everton. So Liverpool, here's the thing, like it doesn't have to be a permanent move that like once you get rid of these players, it doesn't mean that you can't bring them back in. You can definitely bring them back in. And Liverpool, like come, what is it, game week 15? Game week 15? Look at this, game week 15 for Liverpool. You could even say game week 14, to be honest. After the City game, Newcastle, Everton, Fulham, Spurs, Leicester. You'll definitely want some Liverpool players for this run, right? So you can bring them back in again here. But this is where it kind of gets tricky in terms of how to, because I think Arsenal also have still a pretty decent run of fixtures. Fulham, Everton, Crystal Palace, Ipswich. Chelsea, obviously, we've just spoken about their fixtures improving from game week 12. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Cole Palmer had a hat trick, 7 goals and assist in 8 appearances in the Premier League against Big Six opponents in 23. There you go. 15 people watching, but only 11 likes. So come on, like the video, subscribe. Yes. One more week, Ryan, and then next. Yeah. So I'm not doing the transfer for Palmer this week because Liverpool have the advantage over Chelsea, I would say, for this week, because Chelsea defensive players are missing this week because of yellow cards and injuries. So that's definitely boosting Liverpool assets this week. So it's game week 9 when I probably look to make that move. Palmer blanks incoming. I'm more than happy for him to blank against Liverpool. Haaland blanking is more likely than Palmer blanking. That is actually also possible. Given that they're because of Rodri and everything, but the fixtures look like, you look at the fixtures for Haaland and you go, oh, this guy has to go, right? Here's the other thing. There's the question of why don't I sell Saka instead of sell Saka to get Palmer. That allows me to keep Trent as well. The only thing with that is I don't know, maybe I want to use that Saka move somewhere else for another player potentially as well. I don't know. I haven't thought it that far yet. Because I look at Saka's fixtures and I go, the only hard fixture for Saka is Liverpool. After that, they have Newcastle, Chelsea, Forest, West Ham. Oh, Arsenal, that is a pretty good attacking fixture. Both are blank twice this season. Saka and Haaland. Yeah. The other reason for selling, here's the thing. The other reason for me selling David Raya was so I can get off triple Arsenal. So I was willing to do Raya to Pickford to get off the triple Arsenal. And that would give me space to be able to do come let's say game week 12 or even game week 9 or game week 10 or something. Game week 10? No. Game week 12 maybe. Come game week 12 after Solanke has played Ipswich, if I wanted, to go to a Havertz. Because right now Havertz is killing it. I had Havertz at the start of the season. Should I just kept him on my wildcard team as well, to be honest? Biggest mistake I made. But Havertz is probably the second best striker in the league right now. In terms of FPL options, second best striker option right now in the league. So I want to try and be able to get back to Havertz. So yeah, I maybe need to think about it a bit more. Maybe I should not rush the Pickford move. I don't need to rush. Maybe I can give Arsenal one tough game with double Arsenal defense against Liverpool to see how Arsenal will, whether they'll improve defensively or not. Because generally when they face harder opponents, they are a bit more focused on. So when they are more focused against harder opponents, they tend to do well defensively. And I guess Raya this season in general has done better against the harder opponents in terms of saves and everything. Like Aston Villa, 10 points. Spurs, 9 points. City, 4 points. He's done better actually against the hard opponents and the easy opponents. So maybe I should actually keep Raya. At least give him one hard game to see how he does. Jackson has minutes risk. Yeah. Jackson is still first choice striker for Chelsea. With Wolves and Southampton next, I can't see him not scoring. Haaland? Yeah, fair enough. I'm looking to get Fernandes instead of Diaz. No, don't even bother touching Manchester United. Palmer instead of Saka and Guardiola instead of Trent, but next game week not yet. Fair enough. I'm thinking of losing Havertz. Oh no! See, this is what happened. Mira, she lost Havertz when Havertz, like she took off Havertz at the perfect moment, and then he didn't do anything, and then she brought back Havertz in, and he started scoring again. Now she's thinking of removing Havertz again, which means he's going to stop scoring. Can you tell me when you're going to bring him back again, Mira, and then I'll look to bring him in at that time as well. Always get subbed off at 60 to 70 minutes. Who is this? Jackson? Or is this Diaz? Or who are we talking about subbed off? You mean Jackson? Yeah, that's possible. That's because of Chelsea have so much depth. Okay, now this is another thing that I saw that everyone was sharing in terms of this is from FPL optimized, where you can. I still don't fully know how to read this graph. I think it's just based on the models and all, to be honest. But so far, what I take from this is one, I'm probably making bad decisions. Okay, which is why it's in the negative. But I'm still slightly overperforming my bad decisions. But they're still bad decisions, which is why they're both falling downwards. If they were good decisions, I think they would be climbing upwards. But because they're from the wildcard, you can see it's just taken a huge plummet downwards. So my wildcard has just been like a nightmare. Now I need to revert this and try and get it to an upward trend, basically. So that is kind of what I need to do. And that is probably, so my aim for that between now till the next international break, which is game week 8 to game week 11, between game week 8 to game week 11, I need to do a couple things. This graph has to go upwards. My rank, I would like to improve my rank, and if possible, try and get into the top 1 million by game week 11 before the end of that, like the next international break. Those are just the two things that I want. Get into the top 1 million, and obviously make this graph go upwards. The graph goes upwards. Ideally, I'm in the top 1 million, maybe. It doesn't necessarily mean that you get into the top 1 million as well, because even if it goes upwards, you could still have bad luck and you're just going to be out. But like, let's see what happens. That's the goal basically from now till the next international break. If Doku or Savio start against Wolves and Southampton, Haaland will score 2 in each game. I generally don't like Doku for Haaland. I'd rather have Grealish instead of Doku, but yeah. SJ, welcome. How are you doing, SJ? Haaland just need a minor firmware update and he'll be good as new. Yep, true. He just needs a minor firmware update, put some oil as well, maybe. You know, just tweak some of the bolts, nuts and bolts, and I think he'll be good as new. I remember like 3 weeks ago when I bought Dalot and DCL, at that point looked risky, but now a lot of people are bringing them in. DCL, he had one chance to score again this week as well. The problem with DCL, and I feel like I'm going to get stuck with him, his fixtures are so good that I'm just going to keep starting him and hoping that he scores in one of these fixtures, and he's probably going to not score in any of these fixtures. It is what it is. Siraj, are you sure Doku goes himself and yeah, I don't like Doku. I generally don't like Doku. You got this right. I was where you are this time last season. Fingers crossed. Fernandes has definitely underperformed, but he's still right. Exactly, plenty of time to go. So yeah, that's the aim for the next 4 game weeks. Now, I've got a couple stats, and this is where I'm looking at Trent replacements. Even though Mira will tell me don't sell Trent, but the only way to bring Palmer in at this moment, unless anyone, I don't really want to go Nori, but unless someone else can like give me some other ideas that requires not selling Trent. Maybe even if I was to keep Trent and like get rid of Rhea, maybe I get rid of. Okay, here's the thing. I could probably get rid of double Arsenal defense. No, I can't. It's not possible. Never mind. Forget about. Oh, I still could. I could go for a 4.5 keeper. And keep Trent. But I have memories before of Gabriel scoring headers against harder opposition. Even this season, he's done it. And like against tougher opposition, Arsenal set pieces just climbs up a notch because that's their main way of scoring against harder opposition. So I'm just gonna keep Gabriel, to be honest. Had a small green arrow, but a red arrow on the league. Well, as long as you had an overall green arrow, that's more than enough. So I either replace Salah with Foden or Konsa with Rico Lewis. I don't know about Foden. I wouldn't go to Foden just yet. I still think we need to see Foden in a few more minutes. Like he still hasn't played enough football, right? Foden hasn't played enough football for us to go. I mean, the fixtures are there, but I still think we need to once he's on it, then you go and get him in. For now, he's still out of form, is what I would say. Konsa with Rico Lewis, you could do that. You could also go for someone else as well, potentially, and not go for Rico Lewis if you didn't want to. But Rico is completely fine as well. Can't get rid of Gabriel. Nah, I'm not getting rid of Gabriel. This guy is very well capable of scoring like 100 goals. You can send Mbeumo to Carvalho to get Palmer. No, this guy will score a goal. Like no, he's a 90-minute player. I'm not selling a 90-minute player. Carvalho is not a 90-minute player. 194th in the league, 2 free transfers, 0.5 in the bank. Connor, I will have a look. I will definitely have a look. Let me bring your team up anyways. I'll have a look and keep it up. Mbeumo has great fixture and great value. Yep, this is very week to make transfers. Yeah, so I'm only making one transfer this week, and the only one transfer that I'm thinking of doing is just removing Jackson and bringing in Solanke, which I will do once he's done with international, because Solanke has gone to play for England, right? So I'll wait till England have done with their international break before I bring Solanke in, just in case any injuries or something happens. I'm thinking Foden at the moment. Happy to take a chance on him. Fair enough. Now watch Foden do really well. Can't see how you get Palmer plus Saka with the front line and still keep Trent. Nah, it's not possible, right? It's clearly not possible. Because like there's no way to keep Saka, Palmer, and Haaland while still having Trent and Raya and Gabriel and whatnot. So someone has got to go, which is why I feel like Trent. Never had Haaland and Salah and in front of you, not Trent, Haaland, no, Haaland to Palmer. Haaland to Palmer. No, too good fixtures for Haaland to kind of get rid of just yet. I'm sticking with no Haaland for the whole season. Brave man. I don't have the same bravery. Okay, now here's a few things that I want to talk about. I really want to talk about this. Some teams that have done defensively better this season. So now, obviously, this is the other problem, because I look at Liverpool and I'm going, they're the only team keeping proper clean sheets this season, and here I am trying to remove a defender who's the only one getting me clean sheets this season. But the other options that I've thought about, Villa, for me, not possible. I still don't think they're good enough for clean sheets. Arsenal, I have got Arsenal cover enough. Forest is an option, but Forest actually don't have the best of fixtures, if I am not mistaken. Oh no, they do have good fixtures. Palace, Leicester, West Ham. Oh, no, never mind. Gets a bit harder after that, so maybe not Forest. The other options were, oh yeah, one team that definitely popped up for me was Fulham. Fulham have only considered 9 big chances, which is the lowest number of big chances in the entire league for this season. This is Combs' team, Fulham. I was wondering, go back to Robinson maybe? Robinson is what, 4.7? Robinson? Maybe he falls down in price come game week 9. Not the worst set of fixtures, right? Everton, Brentford, Crystal Palace, Wolves, Brighton, and there as well. Maybe I rotate him for game week 13. I'm 5th in the league. Any transfer suggestions? I have 3 in the bank. I'll bring your team up as well. Game Week 12, the best option to wildcard before the halfway stage. Yes, Game Week 12 is. Oh, well, you have a wildcard window after Game Week 8 as well. But Game Week 12 is probably the next best, like that fixture turning. Like Arsenal's fixtures get better again. Chelsea's fixtures get better as well. Who else has like really good fixtures that get better? I think it's mainly Arsenal and Chelsea. Spurs, actually, Spurs' fixtures get slightly better than their current set of fixtures, so you could add Spurs to that list as well. And Everton's good run of fixtures end. After which, for anyone who has Everton, you can look to remove Everton. Brighton's fixtures get really good as well again. So Danny Welbeck could enter the conversation come Game Week 12. So yeah. What about Man United? They are 4 in 7 matches. Manchester United. I know they've had 4 in 7 matches, but technically speaking, okay, if you look at the fixtures, they should be able to keep clean sheets against Leicester and Ipswich and Everton. That's come Game Week 11. Brentford, West Ham, and Chelsea, they should concede. But the next 3 after that, they should be able to keep it clean. I don't know. Man United are a very odd team to try and like. Defensively, they're not the worst, but that's mainly because Onana has been like keeping them in games. Like significantly, he's been doing so well to keep them in games. Attacking wise, they're just horrible, so don't even bother about it. If Ten Hag gets sacked before the end of the international break, then you could consider it. But at this point, I will just wait till like Game Week 11 for the next international break to see how they've done and where he is currently. West Ham had the Ipswich game at the perfect time. We're down on confidence, and now West are back. Yeah, the Ipswich game did come into like good moment. West Ham also get a good run of fixtures from like Game Week 14, I would say. I mean, you could probably say Game Week 10 as well, but Game Week 14 better for West Ham. Because my team ranks 78. I'll bring yours up as well. Let me look at some of these teams that I'm wanted to have a look at. Or that were asked. Rohan Sharma. Alright. Now, defense, like I said, Fulham, one team that I'm thinking about, maybe Robinson, potentially. One thing we have to keep in mind is that some of these teams will continue to improve. Like, if you look at Everton, over the last couple of weeks, they've improved significantly compared to the rest of the season. So some of these teams have had harder fixtures as well. Like Wolves had horrible run of fixtures. They're about to go after the City game on their really good run. So let's see whether they improve or not on that. Liverpool are about to run into a slightly tricky set of fixtures. And I still think they will keep a good number of clean sheets. My only worry is with rotation. Arsenal, I just think Arsenal just take, like when they play easier teams, I feel like Saliba and Gabriel just like take it a bit more chill. Compared to when they're playing harder teams, they're like way more focused. Or they don't give the strikers much space when they play harder teams. So yeah, I need to think of like a defender, which is where I have some of these defenders now. Trent is Miles, like he's the best defender in the game right now. Leaf Davis could be an option, but I don't want to go there. Gabriel is there. Porro, I don't trust Spurs defense. This is where Ain't Nuri comes into the picture. But Wolves will have to wait and see before I go for Ain't Nuri. The other one, like y'all mentioned, was United defense. And that's kind of where, if I was to switch this to XA, Dalot comes into the picture for United defense. In terms of chances created, He's not bad actually. 7 chances created. But I don't want to think about United at the moment. Playing double Ipswich defense against Everton, Davies and Greaves. Is that wrong? Ooh, I'll probably leave Davies. I don't know if I'll play Greaves as well. 40 in the league, 1 free transfer, 0.1 in the bank. Alright, let's start looking at some of these teams as well that people were asking. Because there are 4 teams that have come. I'll start with Connor because Connor asked first. Hillbilly. What's the team Hillbilly? Is it this one or is it this one? Can you check my team when you get a moment? 111. Alright. Let's me start with first Connor. 67 points from Connor. Sanchez, Gabriel, Trent, Luis, Pumo, Semenyo, Rogers, Saka, Haaland, Calvert-Lewin. Havertz captaincy. Well played. Oh. Well, to be honest, you're probably not starting Bigford against Newcastle, are you? Compared to Sanchez against Forest. Unlucky. Oh. Never mind. I'm just going to ignore that bench Connor. Regularly honest. Here we go. Alright, Connor, what's the plan? What is the plan for your team at the moment? And then while I wait for Connor, the next one was Vedat, who is who was this? This was Abich. Is this your team? I don't really have a plan. I'll be honest. Any ideas? 0.5 in the bank. How many free transfers, Connor? Actually, you know what I can do? Because we don't have that many people today. Do this. 2 free transfers, 0.5 in the bank. That's me. Okay, I'll bring yours up next. Plowboy Anderson has been terrific for Fulham. He could also get an assist now and again. Loves playing and ranking. A raggy pass to one of the wingers. Would you go for Anderson or would you go for Robinson? Robinson, right? Boom. Robinson's still probably the option, right? Smith Rowe or Rogers. Who would you play? Do you guys think Smith Rowe will play again? He should, right? I was thinking whether to start Smith Rowe over Rogers this week. Not fully sure on that yet. I think that's a very close 50-50. But the rest of the team, you probably start Pickford this week. I just think you okay. Semenyo as Arsenal. Maybe you bench Semenyo as well. You could potentially roll this thing, to be honest. Otherwise, you do a midfield transfer. The question is which midfielder to try and get. You could probably roll. Send to my team on Instagram. Okay, I'll bring it up. You could probably roll this actually. Who would you even want to try and get, honestly? Spurs? Brennan Johnson, maybe? Mid throw to Brennan Johnson is not possible. And Semenyo to Brennan Johnson is also not possible. Probably roll, right? What do you think, Connor? Probably roll. Or try get Spurs attacker. Is there anyone else that you would like to try and get? Do you have any chips left? Do you have any water chips? Do you have? You used your wild card. We just need someone who can keep up with Adama Traore so I can pass to a teammate rather than shoot. Fair enough. Fair enough. Finishing has never been a strong point. Oh, actually, final third delivery has never been a strong point. Could move out to a player to get a Spurs play in. Yeah, like the only thing is I don't know. Like it's either Brennan Johnson or Solanke, and to be honest, you can't afford both at the moment. Unless you get rid of like a Boomo or a Saka, which probably don't want to do. So probably just roll this week. And then come game week 9, you can decide what to do with like Arsenal players for like those tough fixture run. So maybe just roll. Probably what I'm thinking. There's not enough money in the bank to try and like to make a move. You have to kind of get rid of one of the players from the starting 11, or you downgrade a Semenyo to like a 4.5 or something, or you move Calvert-Lewin. You could move Calvert-Lewin to Cunha as well. Like it doesn't have to be this week; it can be next week. But Calvert-Lewin also has like good fixtures, so yeah. Or Strand Larsen as well, like next week after they play City. So maybe just roll for the moment and then see what happens. If he could score, he wouldn't be at Fulham. Fair enough. And then this was obviously Abic who did Diaz. Fernandes, Trent to Guardiola, Saka to Palmer is the plan. Trent to Guardiola, Luis Diaz to Bruno Fernandes. You really want to go there? Do you really want to go to Bruno Fernandes? Is that a must-needed move to be made? I know they have good fixtures, but I just don't trust them attacking wise at the moment. Yeah, play ESR or Semenyo. Probably ESR, right? Semenyo has Arsenal. You kind of want to hope that Arsenal can keep a clean sheet. Whereas Aston Villa, on the other hand, defensively haven't looked the best. Who is everyone's bust team captain after Haaland? No Haaland bust captain on Solanke. If I didn't captain Haaland, I would captain on Saka. That's probably what I would do. Stay away from Bruno. Yeah, I would avoid Bruno. Abic. This is for Abic, by the way. Do you really want to get Bruno Abic? I would probably wait. If I went for United attack, I would go Garnacho. Yeah, same. I think it would be Garnacho for me if you wanted a Manchester United attacker. But I wouldn't even go for United attack. Until they can show that they can score a goal, I wouldn't go for United attack. Good enough to roll in my opinion. Good luck with your decision. Yeah, that's true. Aston Villa's defense is actually quite good. It is. Numbers wise, if you look at it, right? Defensively, numbers wise, they're the second best defense this season. The only problem with this is they have kept only one clean sheet in 7 games. Because they concede, I don't know, like for some reason they just like one clean sheet in 7 games, not great. They find a way to concede. That's the problem. But in terms of XG conceded, top, as you can see, just behind Liverpool. A few options. Diaz is for me almost dead pick after this game. It did well for me so far, but has to go. Yeah, fair enough. I think like with the upcoming run, they could see quite a bit of rotation. So let's bring Abich up next. And we'll swap Connor's team to Abich. This starts with this week. We have probably start Leaf Davis, right? Over Dalot. Just know Brentford are going to score in the first minute against Manchester United. Or second minute against Manchester United. What did you want to do, Abich? You wanted to get rid of Diaz, Guardiola, and Saka to get Palmer. Was that a move in game week 8 or game week 9, Abich? Like, were you getting rid of Diaz this week or were you getting rid of Diaz game week 9? Amit, welcome. How are you doing? Nice to be back on stream. Can you suggest some moves? 170 in your league. Planning to do Eze to Johnson or Barco to Ben Johnson? Eze to Brennan Johnson, I don't mind that at all, to be honest. Amit, still have my wildcard and point 2 in the bank. Okay, I'll have a look at your team. I'll load it up, but we'll first bring it up. I've got a couple other teams just before you. Connor ESR should be starting against Villa. Thunderbird versus Tactics. Yeah, I think that was mainly it. He was brought in to beef up the middle. Yep, fair enough. I do expect Smith Rowe to start again, to be honest. Diaz planned to do this week, but 0 options. Yeah, if you do Diaz this week, the only way to try and get Palmer is to try and like sacrifice Trent as well, or Saka, which you don't really want to do. You could also hold for one more week because Chelsea have lost a couple of defensive moves. Go into game week 9 and make those transfers. That's another possible move. Or you look to yeah, probably game. The other option is you move Onana out. Brennan Johnson is not possible, no. Yeah, well, you could roll or money in the bank 0.5 garbage. You could do it to Brennan Johnson, but obviously then Palmer move becomes a bit more harder. So the other options obviously include just rolling, going to game week 9, and then you remove the likes of Luis Diaz, Trent. You could remove Trent and Luis Diaz this week as well if you wanted to try and get Palmer in. But I feel like it's better to keep Liverpool over Chelsea at this present moment for just this week. I do expect Luis Diaz to start, by the way, for this week. I do think he'll start. Everything Chelsea do involves Palmer. I thought at the start of the season he was too rigid in his position. Yeah, that's what I asked. That's kind of why I didn't go for Palmer. I thought he'll be like too stuck to his position and whatnot, and then because of that he won't go. But he's just become what he was last season. Like everything just kind of goes through him. And he should have scored this week as well. Sells made like that back-to-back save that Sells made was amazing. Like Palmer should have scored this week. So weird sitting on 3 transfers, but rolling seems like the best option. Yeah, because the other option is like trying to go to Semenyo to like someone else, like to a Brennan Johnson or I don't know. Like the problem is the money is held up in like other players, and The other players don't have. It's not the worst fixture for the other players. Like otherwise, it's like moving Henderson to like a Pickford. That's probably another move you could look to do. Henderson to Pickford is honestly not a bad move as well if you wanted to do a goalkeeper transfer. That is something else as well that you could probably look at. But apart from that, the rest is just like I would probably roll the rest, to be honest. After that, after Abich was Rohan. Rohan, are you still here, Rohan? So Rohan was next. And Rohan's team looked like this. There is bound to be an international injury for our teams. Yeah, that's the thing, right? There is bound to be something that probably goes wrong. So maybe just wait and see. Next week we might be here, and there might be something that you might want to do. All right, Rohan is here. Rohan, what's the plan? What are you thinking of doing? Want to change third defensive option, but 0.3 in the bank. So you mean like Mazraoui, or are you talking about like Vandenberg? You could go to Ant Nouri. You could do Mazraoui to Ant Nouri, but this week it's not the best of fixtures. Probably start Greaves this week against Everton, potentially. Mazraoui could become Ant Nouri if you wanted to. Or Mazraoui could also become Rico Lewis. From Manchester City. Thanks for the review. No worries. Or you could just keep Mazraoui and hope that United defensively do improve. Oh, actually, defensively they're not too bad. They've kept 4 clean sheets, but you could hope that they continue to keep clean sheets and keep Mazraoui. But the only way to I don't know, you probably have even to get Ant Nouri is like 0.1 shot. Your next option is just to roll for this week. Try and get to 2 free transfers. Who else would you want to remove? Do you have a wildcard as well, Rohan? Or have you used your wildcard? Hey, Diblin. Oh, yes, you could do that actually. Diblin over Jimenez? Has to be, right? You don't mind Diblin. Either Diblin or Jimenez. United is the opposite of Villa, poor XGA but kept clean. That is true. Mehdi, welcome. How are you doing? Okay, I'll roll wildcard used. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you could probably roll, or the other option is like Mazraoui to like a Rico Lewis, which in City's inability to keep clean sheets and Manchester United's shocking ability to keep it to a 0-0. Maybe you just keep Mazraoui for one more week and see how things go. I've seen Chelsea has like 15 players out for international break this season. Patience is so important. Chelsea do have a few players that are going to be missing against Liverpool, which is why I would like to keep the Liverpool assets for one more week. Okay, so Rohan probably rolls at this moment. We'll see next week. Maybe international break, something happens. We don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna close Connor. I'm gonna close Abich and Rohan as well. And the next one was Will. The Reglianos. Can also upgrade Diblin to Fernandes from Southampton. Fernandes from Southampton. Which Fernandes? Why not play Raul over him, Diblin? Yeah, you could also play Raul actually. I'm just very close between those two. Diblin doesn't have a. It's not like he has a bad fixture, but yeah, you can play Raul as well. Fernandes from Southampton. I haven't watched enough of Southampton to be able to comment on that. This is where Freddy will come into play. Which app is this? This is FPL.team. It's a nice planner app, free to use. FPL.team. I know you'll check my team soon. Just remind you send on Instagram. Yes, Shiraz. I have your team up. It's just on the other tab. I have to bring it up. I'll load it up as well, just so that I know it's in the line. Let me put Shiraz's team over here. All right, Will, which is basically Hillbilly. Let me copy your team. Put it here. Don't get Fernandez from Southampton. Dublin is so much better and it's cheaper. There you go. It from the best person to answer that question. Bench in ESR and roll in ATM. Move for Palmer and Wolves in 9. Yep. Makes sense. Makes sense. Unlucky with this. This was so unlucky. Would have been such a good option for Game Week 9. But yeah, makes sense. Don't mind those moves, to be honest. For me, the Smith Rowe versus Rogers. I also have the same situation with Smith Rowe versus Rogers. Maybe I should just start Smith Rowe and Rogers and just bench Albert Lewin. That's like, oh, such a good fixture that I can't even bench him. Oh, this is the problem with owning Calvert Lewin. But yeah, I don't mind those moves. Hillbilly, that was pretty easy. Team looks overall pretty good. And the next one was Caleb. Salt and Kepa, 52 points. If you get a chance, you have a look at that time. 108. Yes, yes, we'll bring it up, Freddy. We'll bring it up. All right, this one is Caleb. 2 free transfers, 0.1 in the bank. Konsa, unfortunate. Oh, Danny Welbeck. You still have Danny Welbeck. Oh, you did no. Lucky with that one. Probably start Danny Welbeck, right? Over Semenyo this week. You could actually start Mikalenko over Konsa if Konsa is not going to play this week. Because I think Mikalenko should be back for this week. So what do you want to do? It's Matthias Fernandez for 5 minutes. Check him out. Let me know what you think of him. Matthias Fernandez. Is he? He's not even in the list here. Nah, I probably would avoid. Oh, I've had a minimum 2 starts thingy. No wonder. I see what you mean. Nah, I probably might avoid. Numbers are not the best. Probably still will go with Diblin. When I watched Diblin, he looked way more electric for me. And cheaper. Like Freddie mentioned. Will Diaz play? I think he will play. I expect him to play actually. I just think he was rotated this week because of like just purely rotation. So game week 8, I expect him to play. After that, I think it might be a problem. Surprised you didn't mention Muric. He's been well in general. I just don't like goalkeeper transfers. I don't tend to like make too many goalkeeper transfers. The other thing is Muric has been making a lot of saves from memory, which is like here you go 8 saves. So the fixtures are still there for Muric to keep clean sheets potentially. And even if he doesn't, he's making so many saves for you that there's always that possibility of a double-digit haul. with Ipswich. But if you have a wild card or something, eventually you might want to get rid of him because there's only so many clean sheets they're going to keep. Like they won't keep too many clean sheets, so that's the only thing. But for the moment, he's not the biggest problem in your team. Mehdi, welcome. FPL ID is 196876. Okay, I'll have a look at your team as well. My plan is getting Palmer by game week 9. Very similar. South American players usually get rested for the first game after the international break. That is true, but then that didn't happen for Luis Diaz the last time as well, right? Funnily enough, the last international break, everyone was thinking Luis Diaz would get rested and Gakpo will start. But instead, Arne Slot came and said that Luis Diaz seemed more fresher than Gakpo. So I still think Luis Diaz is first choice for Liverpool. What about Trent to Paro, Diaz to McNeil, and Welbeck to Watkins? Ooh. Welbeck to Watkins. I'd slightly prefer Havertz over Watkins at this present moment. But as you already have triple Arsenal, that is not a possibility. So Welbeck to Watkins. It's not bad, but then again, Welbeck hasn't done anything bad that you don't need to like kind of bench him. That makes sense. Like Welbeck is doing pretty decently. Just play like game week 12 onwards. Welbeck's fixtures are pretty good again. So you could probably just keep Welbeck if you wanted to. There's no real reason to sell him. And especially at the expense of losing Trent to Porto. I feel like Trent is significantly better. Diaz to McNeil, that could potentially pay out. Doesn't necessarily mean it will. You could even do Luis Diaz to maybe like a Brennan Johnson or something from Spurs, potentially slightly bit better than McNeil. Diaz doesn't play till Sunday, will be fine. Yeah, that's the thing. I think Diaz will be fine. Watkins' fixture is turning bad. Yeah, that's the thing. Watkins and Aston Villa, I think with like a lot more European fixtures to come. They've got Fulham, which is not too bad. Then they got Bologna, I think, in Champions League. Bournemouth after that. Spurs. Who's Brew? Aston Villa. Aston Villa's problem in terms of fixtures, I think, is going to be this. Oh, Club Brugge. Let's look at this. They have Club Brugge. So Spurs away game, Club Brugge away game, Liverpool away game. 3 away games between the space of game week. Where is that? Game week 10 away game, Champions League away game, game week 11 Champions League away game. Away game. Game week 10 to 11, not the best of fixtures for Aston Villa, so I would kind of avoid Watkins for the moment. I think I'll roll then and hope Mikalenko can play. Mikalenko should be available this week, according to the news that we got. But obviously, we'll wait for press conference news. But he should be fine. Apparently, it was like a minor issue, so he should be back, Mikalenko as well. Oro doesn't take set pieces anymore with Kulu and Madison in the midfield. He's less of a threat in attack. It's true. Luis Diaz plays on the Tuesday. That should give him enough time to get back and train with the squad. Yeah, I think Luis Diaz will be fine for the Chelsea game. After that is when, things are going to get a bit more tricky. I'm looking to transfer him out soon. To Luis Diaz? Yeah, same. Or are we talking about someone else? I think I'll roll and hoping Klinker will play. Fair enough, yeah. Alright, next one was Shiraz. Here you are. This is Shiraz's team. 5 free transfers. 5 free transfers. Okay, Shiraz has definitely got to make a move. How have you reached 5 free transfers? I will never know. But here you are. Potter. Oh, okay, fair enough. Potter is just not worth it at this price. But they're not keeping clean sheets, which is a problem. I'm not really happy with that move. 5 free transfers. He's definitely going to have to make a move. Point 4. Looking at this team, I would first of all start Mbeumo. I would start Mbeumo over McNeil and Savio. Actually, I would start Mbeumo over Greaves. I wouldn't start both Leaf Davies and Greaves. I'd definitely start Mbeumo. Haven't made a transfer this season. Wait, so you've missed transfers as well? Have you missed transfers this season? Probably have, right? Looking at this team, I think one option is Savio to a Spurs attacker. Salah to Palmer is another option, but maybe not this week. Maybe from like onwards, like game week 9 onwards. Yeah, probably, or even Jamie Vardy to Solanke. Oh, you don't have enough money to go Jamie Vardy to Solanke. Actually, Savio to Brennan Johnson probably seems to be the most likely one. Wildcard 6 only, not made a single transfer this season. Damn. So you've actually lost a transfer as well, potentially. Savio to Johnson, yep. Salah to Palmer, Davis to Lewis. You could even do Greaves to actually Pinnock could go to Lewis as well. You don't have to do Salah to Palmer this week though. You can do it next week. You could also go and get Saka if you wanted to. Vardy and Savio have great fixtures this week. Will Savio start though? That's the only problem. That's what we're not sure. If Savio will start or not. So maybe keep it for the moment. We'll see if we get any. Will we get any leaks? No, we won't get any leaks. You have to take a risk with the Savio one. So you'll have to like hope for the best with Savio. I don't mind moving him out if you wanted to. You can also keep him if you wanted to. I would definitely start Mbeumo. Whether that's you starting Mbeumo or McNeil or over Chris Wood. Actually, no. Mbeumo, you start him over Greaves first of all. You play a 3-4-3 formation. He is United are bad. You know, like Brentford are going to find a way to score. That's what I think. I'll probably start Mbeumo over Greaves maybe. And then in terms of using a transfer, you could do Pinnock to Rico Lewis if you wanted to. That is one. You could also go Pinnock to Ent Nuri a week earlier. Actually, Pinnock to Ent Nuri is also possible a week earlier if you wanted to. Top 500k also. Nice. The other option could be, yeah, maybe just like you could just do that as a week early if you wanted to. Or Greaves to Ent Nuri or something like that. Maybe Pinnock, because Pinnock is what, 4.5? The other option is Semenyo actually to Brennan Johnson. Do you have the money? No, you don't have the money. Actually, you don't have the money. Ignore me. Semenyo is like 5.7. Brennan Johnson 6.5. Yeah. Yeah. I just think maybe Pinnock to a like Ent Nuri or another defender who can play as well going forward. Or I would say if you wanted to risk Savio, it's fine. Otherwise, Savio to like a Brennan Johnson and start Boomer. Teams know what Brentford are going to do at the start of the match, but no one yet has stopped them. Yeah, like every first minute or second minute, they're going to find a way to score somehow. Then Freddie, this was Freddie's team. I have Amit's team, and I also have Mehdi's team as well. So first, let's look at Freddie. Then we'll go to Amit, and then we'll go to Mehdi. Freddie. Freddie had a really good week with the Saka captaincy differential. I'll not do anything till next Friday, so I'll ask you the same question on next Friday. Okay. Freddy's team. What do you plan to do, Freddy? Rodri knows how, but by blocking Havertz's forward run. First 2 minutes, United should not give the ball to Brentford. That's assuming United win the coin toss for kickoff. If they lose the coin toss for kickoff, then Brentford start with the kickoff. This is Freddy's team. Wonder what the plan is. I think I will roll 3 free transfers in Gameweek 9. Yep, that actually makes sense. Yeah. Probably start Jimenez over Semenyo as the only other like move. I think maybe Solanke and Foden in Gameweek 9. Yeah, that could be an option. That could be an option. You mean Foden to what? Saka? Saka to Foden? Could be a possibility depending on how Foden plays in game week 8. Rogers a bit overrated. I mean, for 5 million, you can't really ask much, right? For 5 million, he plays week in, week out. So I honestly don't mind Rogers. For 5 million, he'll play week in, week out. Not the worst player to have. And he plays almost like 90 minutes. Maguire's out. Yes. I have 2.4 in the bank. That is true. You could do you could upgrade your goalkeeper if you wanted to. Oh, maybe he might keep some clean sheets actually. So never mind. Actually, keep it as it is. Roll and let's see what happens in game week 9 potentially. Let's see how what happens in game week 9. Let's see how Liverpool do against Chelsea, and then decide what to do in game week 9. 5-1-2, 5-1-3. Maguire. I know, but he may be back against Brentford. Who, Maguire? No, Maguire said he's out for a couple of weeks at least. He's out for a couple of weeks, Shiraz. I don't think he'll be back against Brentford. He himself has said he's out for a couple of weeks. What Eze plus Trent for Palmer, Nuri, or Ena? Yeah, that could work out, Mohammed. It could work out. Maybe wait for one more week before doing that. But actually, I don't mind that move, Mohammed. I actually don't mind those moves. But Ten Hag seems to favor delete plus Martinez more. True. That's because that's his players, right? So that's why he does favor them more. Alright, so Freddy seems okay. Next one was Amit. And then Mehdi after next. Amit, are you still here? Amit still here? This is Amit's team. 1 free transfer, 0.3 in the bank. Still have Bako. I think Amit hasn't wildcarded yet. If I'm not mistaken. No. Amit and wildcard. Amit has a lot of players that I probably would want to get rid of. Starting with Lewis Hall. Robinson could start this week over Lewis Hall maybe. Will Lewis Hall even play? Have even? Oh wow, 5 points. He did start. Damn. Maybe you can start Lewis Hall. Eze. You'd hope Eze does something, but I don't know. Bro, any transfer suggestions for my team? SJ, where is your team, SJ? Can you let me know? And I'll bring it up as well. Oh, here we go. 6th in the league. I'll have a look at yours, SJ. I'll have a look at yours as well. Amit will wait. Is Amit here? I don't know if he's here. but I think he probably needs to wildcard this team soon. For Amit, especially, I think your wildcard weeks are just before game week 9, and the other one is game week 12 for Amit. So I don't know when he probably watches this back. I probably look to wildcard game week 9 or 12. Could actually like wildcard game week 12 potentially. Just move Luis Hall and Eze out in the next 2 transfers, and you can wildcard in game week 12 most likely, Amit. That's probably what I would look to do at this moment. All right, from there, next one before we go to SJ, there was one more request, which was Mehdi. I don't know if he's on here. 196876. He's still here. Let me know. Basically, this was a team. Mehdi, Rea, Luis, Trent, Gabriel, Boomo, Semenyo, Saka, Rogers, Wood, Solanke, Haaland, Luis Diaz on the bench. Not fully sure what he's gonna do or what the plan is. Mehdi said, my plan is getting Palmer by game week 9. Palmer by game week 9. I assume Luis Diaz is the sacrifice for that, potentially. Tottenham for life. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing, Tottenham for life? How did your game week go? And then after Mehdi, we had SJ. I don't know if Mehdi's here. We'll wait for him for a reply. But I'll load SJ as well and getting Palmer by game week 9. I think Luis Diaz is probably making way for this. The question is he selling Trent? That's what I want to know from Mehdi. Then SJ. This is SJ's team. SJ, what's the plan? Answer suggestions. Oh, you have Phil Foden. Ooh. Colville, probably, right? SJ? Because Colville, I think, is still injured. Oh, he's going to be missing Colville. So you might want to monitor Colville's situation at the moment. Probably start. You could either remove Colville or start Greaves. Good week for Johnson. That's also true. I don't know how you want to get Johnson into this team. Oh, 0.9 actually. Ooh, 0.1 short. Hope McNeil goes up in price. I don't know why I bought Gakpo. Oh, I just seen Gakpo. No wonder. Okay. It was a rush of blood because Liverpool team news was leaked before deadline. Okay. Now I know what you can do. 7.1. How about you could wait for a bit, starting Howard Bellis or Levi Colville, I'm assuming. You could do Gakpo to. There are a few players that have been mentioned in today's stream. Matheus Cunha, Stan Larsen, although I do prefer Cunha over Stan Larsen for the moment, and Raul Jimenez. 3 forwards mentioned. You can have a look at one of those 3 or Gakpo, and then later you could find a way to eventually either get Ben Johnson in maybe, or for a McNeil. You can keep McNeil actually. Maybe just Gakpo out for the moment if he's not going to start. You can wait and see. You don't have to make the move just yet. Wait for the international break, see how press conference, Arne Slot talks and everything, and then later you can decide what to do with Gakpo. Football Chatbox, who do you support? I feel like you asked me this question a couple of days ago, Tottenham for life. And I gave you an answer. The answer is right above here. Patrick, welcome, Patrick. How are you doing? What 4.5 million defender would you bring in for Robertson? Will do Joao Pedro to Sri Lanka next week with the money in the bank. 4.5 million defender would you bring in for Robertson? Okay, there are a couple of. Oh, are there a couple options? Ant Nouri at 4.4 from game week 9. I'll probably start Robertson this week, to be honest. But Ant Nouri is one. Milenkovic from Nottingham Forest is another one, 4.5. Could also do Aina if you wanted to, but maybe Milenkovic is more of a set piece threat, so probably Milenkovic. Crazy, James Justin back-to-back double digits. I mean, could pay off actually, James Justin as well, potentially. But probably Milenkovic and Nouri is one. Who else? You can afford 4.6 James Justin, maybe. Could pay out over the next couple. But Leicester are bad. Defensively, Leicester are just... Look at this. 2.16 they should have conceded. Leicester can't keep clean sheets like this. But yeah, Patrick, maybe those are a couple options. What about Wood? You could go to Chris Wood as well. You could go for Chris Wood as well. Forest have Crystal Palace, Leicester, West Ham. The reason okay, here's the thing. Chris Wood will be like after that they've got like Newcastle, Arsenal, City, United, Villa. Like Forest's fixtures aren't really good for a long term compared to like a Cunha versus a Fulham, stuff like that. So like Forest, Wolves, Fulham. You could put Dominic Calvert-Lewin into this conversation, but you're gonna have you're gonna be in a situation like me where I'm like, this guy has such good fixtures, I'm gonna keep starting him, and he's just not gonna return at all. But I do prefer Cunha as like the better option out of all of them. Cunha has slightly better longer term fixtures. Same with maybe Strand Larsen. Raul Jimenez plays for the better team out of the lot, but fixtures are similar to Chris Wood, where it'll get harder after game week 13 effectively, or game week 14. Should I wait for Palmer? You could actually wait for Palmer, SJ. That's another option. You could actually wait for Palmer. Probably Foden to Palmer even, if Foden doesn't look like he's playing well. Tottenham for life, look at the top right corner. He's already asked me this question. He's asking me again. It wasn't me that asked you. Oh, really? I swear it was you. I don't know. Anyways, it's fine. But yeah, top right corner. Sujal, welcome and enjoy the best season of my FPL careers. I'm having no playing this season. I'm having so much peace. But Sujal, thank you for the support. You still come here and you watch. So thank you for the support. Trent down to a 4.5 really helps strengthen the squad. True. Scotland investor, welcome as well. 513, thanks. I'll roll transfer play McNeil for Gakpo and sell Saka before Liverpool match and bring Palmer to team. Yeah, that could also work. Gakpo to Solanke seems best for long term. Gakpo to Solanke is unfortunately a move up. And while he has the money, he could probably use that for Palmer instead. So maybe Gakpo down would be slightly better, and then Watkins to Solanke could be another option later down the line. Alright, that is basically all the teams we've got. I've managed to cover everything. There were a few, Amit and Mehdi Mehdi Mezgic. Both who are here. I couldn't go through the teams. Well, actually, I actually mentioned it a bit, but I don't think they were in the chat when I bought the teams up. We should be proud as a Manchester United fan. Put the scarf on you or behind you. And I've got enough of United merch here to show that I'm a United fan. They've even got this like tiny football, like various signatures on it. It's been held by a Batman logo. Antonio? You mean embarrassed? Antonio, if Simon was here, Simon captained Antonio actually. Simon captained Antonio, so shout out to Simon for that. But I can't believe he got 3 assists and none of them were actual assists, but all were fantasy assists. But no, West Ham's fixtures, I think West Ham's fixtures, they improve overall. Come like, where's West Ham? I think West Ham, game week 9 to 11 is actually not too, actually 9 to 11 to 12 is not too bad. Maybe from game week 9. I mean, you could consider it, but I still prefer Wolves one. I actually still like to look at Cunha as an option, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't thought about it fully. Maybe I need to give it a bit more thought. Cunha or Solanke? Cunha or Solanke? This is a big question. I might have to play about and see whether I should go for Cunha or should I go for Solanke. Think about it a bit more. I probably might still go for like Solanke. We'll see. I'll think about it a bit more. I might give Calvert-Lewin 1 or 2 more games before eventually moving to like a Cunha. Calvert-Lewin probably gets game week 8, game week 9, and at best he'll get until game week 10. And if he doesn't return by game week 10, Calvert-Lewin is out of the door, and in comes Matheus Cunha. That's probably the plan at the moment. Palmer game week 12 and Bowen game week 14 looks great. Yeah, true. Antonio is better than DCL. That's also true. Yes. Supporting United is a form of torture. Should come as part of your health insurance at this point. I want to hear thoughts on a couple players. Raul, Foden, Solanke, Lewis, Johnson. Johnson on a purple patch. So good option for the moment. Solanke, I think is still... Solanke is okay. Spurs still need to try and find Solanke. And if Spurs can try and feed him the ball more, that will be really good for Solanke. Unfortunately, their players are not because Heung-min Son is injured. Everyone else just doesn't seem to find Solanke, which is a problem. But I think Solanke is still a pretty good player. Rico Lewis, attacking City are just bad at keeping clean sheets. Like defensively, they're good, but they just find a way to keep clean sheets. So while Ederson is still their goalkeeper, they're going to find a way to keep clean to concede goals. So that's a bit of a problem. But Rico Lewis is still pretty attacking. Could get exposed at a couple of times, which did happen in the last game, but he still managed to play 90 minutes. So he should be okay for now. Raul Jimenez, good player, plays for a good team. Fixtures are okay. Not the best, but fixtures are still okay, and I like him as well. Foden, I think Foden, I want to wait 1 or 2 more games for Foden. Because he's just come back and playing proper football. He's been like missing for most of the season so far. So 1 or 2 more weeks for Foden and see how he does before I jump on or like think of option. This season I'm just enjoying the teams play. I love watching football again without any transfer deadlines panicking. Fair enough, but I always love to watch you. Conte, how you give advice. Thank you, Sucha. Would you roll this week with this lineup? Flecken, Robertson, Gabriel Lewis, Saka, Palmer, Johnson, Rogers, Haaland, DCL. Yes, I would probably roll. Fabianski, Joe Pedro, Robinson, and Beltman. Yes. I would roll that team this week. Hat-trick. I would actually roll that team. Hurt me, but can't change my team because they are down now. But they know whether. And also, my country's in war, and I'm still here waiting, Ryan, and playing FPL. That's why I told you to be careful. Yes. I hope you remain careful. I have Guardiola, Luis, and Haaland. Not sure I want triple up though. As in what, like Foden as well? Or what? What do you mean by Guard? You have Guardiola, Luis, and Haaland. Ooh. I don't know if I want double City defense. Score prediction for Man United versus Brentford. Who's at home? United at home. Based of current form, I would have to say 2-1 to Brentford. Based of current form. Consider Joe Pedro and Saka out for Foden if he keeps playing, and Cunha or Solanke in for Joe Pedro. Yeah, Cunha or Solanke for Joe Pedro is not a bad shout. Yeah, in game week 9. Yeah, fair enough. In game week 9. Alright, I think I'll end it here. My voice is slowly fading away. So I want to first of all thank everyone who's been watching up to this point. And if you reached up to this point, do hit that subscribe button. We're on 902 subscribers, and I've seen a few new faces today. So do hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button as well. And let's try and get to 1000 subscribers. That is the goal. So hopefully before the end of the year, we've hit 1000 subscribers. That's the goal. 98 subscribers more to go. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button. I will be back. I'll be back next week for live content. I might make a wildcard draft this week, like a video. Maybe on a Friday or something. I might do that potentially, like a wildcard draft video for anyone who's looking. But let me know if you guys are interested in like any video ideas that you guys want to see over the international break. Let me know in the comments. And I want to thank everyone who actually, not last week because we didn't have much content, but the week before, for all the people who went and commented on the video after it was done, because that helps the YouTube algorithm a lot. So thank you to everyone who did that. And if you guys can do that this week as well, just comment on the video after the video is done. It can be anything. You can even ask the question. You can just say anything you want because it helps the YouTube algorithm, and hit the like button as well. And that would be really helpful. And I'll make a wildcard video. Wildcard video would be great. Okay, cool. I'll make one this week. And then I'll see you all for a team selection video on Monday next week. Monday next week, team selection. All right. Thank you everyone for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all Monday for a live stream. Until then, peace out. Make sure to comment once the video is done as well to boost the YouTube algorithm. Yeah.